the impeachment and so-called acquittal of Donald Trump throughout this rigged trial of the president, all designed for theater, even though he's clearly guilty. It's all theater at the end of the day. At the end of the day, he's going to serve out his term. I correctly predicted that. I correctly predicted impeachment and acquittal. And now we have the script with the election. 48 senators voted guilty for Donald Trump for abuse of power, and 47 voted Trump guilty for obstruction of justice. So, obstruction of Congress, what Donald Trump is guilty of is withholding documents and preventing testimony through the House subpoenas that were issued to various members of the Trump cabinet. And this is what abuse of power is talking about as well. Obstruction of justice also deals with the multiple times that Donald Trump has tried to thwart the Mueller report, whether it be firing an attorney general for one who is going to rule in favor of Donald Trump. That is exactly what he did to Jeff Sessions, then fired Matthew Whitaker, and put in a personal buddy of his, William Barr, who helped Reagan get away with the Iran-Contra affair. This is how the deep state run your government. Now in gematria, or rather in numerology first, well, let me start with this. It's abuse of power that has gematria of 146. Donald Trump's birthday is on April the 6th, which could be written out as the date of 14-6. It's Donald Trump that has gematria of 138. The amount of time from the date that Donald Trump got away with high crimes to June the 22nd, Elizabeth Warren's birthday, is a time span of 138 days. Also, Donald Trump himself is a master mason. It's master mason that has gematria of 138. And what this is all about is the fact that they're all together. They're all part of the same gang. The center-right Democrats and then these far-right fascist Republicans, at the end of the day, the only people that they care about, the only people that they serve is the really wealthy and large multinational corporations. So believe it or not, every Democrat and every Republican knew what the outcome of this trial was, because the Republicans are going to ignore the evidence, but the Democrats knew that the Republicans were going to vote that side of the aisle. And the amount of time from February the 5th to Donald Trump's birthday is June the 14th. Now, what the 131 is all about is the fact that it is narcissist that has gematria of 131, and you see the really sick pictures of Trump holding the acquitted newspaper, because quite simply, Democrats said we're going to have these people testify against you or whatnot. Republicans are like, nope, we already made our mind. No need for that. We already made up our mind. Who makes up their mind already right before the trial? If you're an objective juror, the fact is that there were no objective jurors on the side of the Republicans. And believe it or not, Republicans convicted Richard Nixon during the 70s. So there was a time when America was not extremely partisan. The only Republican to convict Donald Trump of high crimes and misdemeanors is Mitt Romney. This was a photo of them having dinner with each other after Election Day. Mitt Romney ran against Obama back in 2012. And there is the evil, wicked smile of Donald Trump right there. A smile of pure evil, and ha ha ha, I have conned the American people because I've correctly predicted this presidency. No repeal and replace, no new wall, tax cuts that benefit the wealthy, no trimming down on the deficits, all this grief about Obama increasing the debt, but Donald Trump in the debt is now over $1 trillion. Remember, the Simpsons predicted that we were going to have a debt crisis. It's Mitt Romney that has gematria 53. Notice the fact that there are 53 Republican senators that voted not guilty. 52 voted not guilty for abuse of power. It's Nancy Pelosi that is the 52nd Speaker of the House. 48 Democratic senators voted Trump guilty. 47 voted guilty for obstruction of justice. I want you to remember that it is Republicans that has gematria 48. It's Donald Trump that has gematria 48. It's Illuminati that has gematria 48. Many things equal 48. 48 is a really big number to this occult. It's even evil that has gematria of 48. And these are really significant numbers. I think it's Masonic that has gematria 47, or it's various things like authority and judge and the Freemasons that believe in worship, authority and government. That's what this 47 is all about. And the high-ranking Masons have control of the government with all of this dark money that they have infiltrated upon our government. February the 5th can be written out as a date of 2-5. Now, what this represents is 25. There are all these rumors that, did the Russians make the Republican senators vote not guilty? It just boils down to extreme partisanship. I mean, Putin and the deep state did put Trump in the White House, but I highly doubt they made those extremely partisan senators vote not guilty. It's Trump that's 25. It's racist that's 25. It's Moscow that's 25. It's women that has gematria of 25. We are talking about the women. They're going to elect Elizabeth Warren because February the 5th, 2020 is a 4-year. February the 5th of 2020 is an 11-day. It is Obama that is 11-2 life path. It is Elizabeth Warren that's going to be the next Democratic president after the 11-2 life path. And now the date duration. We have 50 days from the day of the articles of impeachment to February the 5th is 50 days and also 49 days. It has everything to do with the gematria of Donald. It's Donald that's 50. He is certainly a huge fraud. It is fraud that has the same simple and Pythagorean gematrias. It is America that has gematria of 50. And now when we go back to this date duration without the end day, it's just 49 days. It's Donald J. Trump that has gematria of 49, and I want you to notice that Elizabeth Warren is born in the year 49. Really big thing to look out for this election. And now the time duration. This next time duration that we have from February the 5th to December the 14th, the day that the Electoral College is going to select Elizabeth Warren is 45 weeks later, and notice how this is 314 days. 314 can be written out a lot as pi. And I wonder what this has to do with this scripted upcoming winner of the election, Elizabeth Warren, the former Republican, right? 50 weeks later, from February the 5th to Inauguration Day, Elizabeth Warren's going to be elected 50 weeks later from the time that Donald gets away with high fraud. This was not an objective trial by any means. Witnesses were blocked. Key documents were blocked. At the end of the day, Donald Trump got away with it. The woman did not beat him again. Hillary couldn't beat him. Nancy couldn't beat him. The women certainly flipped the house. And now it's Elizabeth that's going to win this scripted election. It's Mitt Romney during the 2012 debates who said that Russia is the greatest geopolitical threat out there. And he is absolutely correct in his assessment of that. He is dead on once again about Russia completely infiltrating and putting a puppet that has served the interests of a foreign power. Look out for Mitt Romney over these next 9 months, because now Donald Trump believes he can get rid of anything as President of the United States, and the majority of people in America wanted to see those key documents and witnesses. Key parts of the Mueller report have been redacted. And so Don the Con gets away with it again. He pulls off his latest con. And the script is going to call for the ultimate end of the bankruptcy king to the bankruptcy lawyer in the election. Till I tell like it is, correctly called impeachment and acquittal. Called it to perfection.